Welcome back to episode 5 of Shansobs. So, we're gonna keep this nice and sweet though, actually, because I think I did a draft of this episode, and in that draft, I wasn't even ill yet, but I am now. So, obviously, yeah, trying to wrap this up. But obviously, I was gonna talk about Corpse Bride today, and first things first, I thought to myself, I want to discuss like the themes of Corpse Bride, because obviously in my draft I was talking about how Corpse Bride's theme is obviously death, and I think to myself, is that why Corpse Bride as a film appealed to me? Yes or no? I think to myself, the theme is obviously apparent. I love that it's about death. I mean, because like Remains of the Day is one of such a good song, because I feel like Remains of the Day, yeah, like it's obviously a song about death, and it's obviously a song that tells you like we're all gonna die, but like it's literally okay, because that's what the song says. Don't wear a frown, because it's really okay. like. And it's like, yeah, like obviously everybody knows death is scary, but like I think Corpse Bride obviously, and it's just like I like obviously the thing of animation actually. I love when animation pushes its boundaries, because obviously people always think, oh, animation, it's just a film for kids. No, 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 no. We didn't say that. Like, you know what I mean? We didn't say that. Like, animation's not necessarily for children. That's what I also feel like. Like, we need to blur the line on sometimes. Like, I think to myself, because I even think to myself when I watch animation and that, it's like, oh, is it weird? Because I'm not actually a child anymore. I'm actually just a big kid. But I think to myself, no, it's not bad, because people think that there's all, like, everything that's animated can be shown to children, but I don't really always think that's the case. Like, even with Corpse Bride, I mean, fine, it's light, because yeah, the theme is death, but it's light, and I guess it has a subtle way. It has a subtle way of hinting its theme is death, I suppose. I mean, yeah, and I think to myself, yeah, sometimes, of course, when stuff's animation, yeah, it obviously can be less severe, like in a way that like it's less severe than watching something live action. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously live action, you get more terrors, like okay, tidbit, yeah, random. I remember when I was young and I used to be afraid of the Hulk, right? And yeah. That's what I can say. I was afraid of the Hulk because it used to scare me. And I think to myself, was it my bad? Because the earliest memory I have, yeah, when I first watched Hulk for the first ever time, I was sitting really up close to the TV, yeah. And then it was obviously when Hulk's turning into Hulk. Do you get it? Like when he's turning into the big green thing. And I was just like, I was just like, no. I was like, this is really, really scary. This is really scary. And it's just like, that's obviously what I'm trying to say. It's just like, not all animation can be shown, but I suppose Corpse Bride can. Like, I meant, like, sometimes when I think about animation as well, I think about its artwork rather than its theme, like the way that it looks. So I think I was also talking about how like you can compare Paranorman and Corpse Bride to each other, because obviously they're both movies that obviously surround what's it called? They surround death, and they surround obviously like Halloween. Like, you know what I mean? They surround that time. So yeah, like those kind of Halloween films. But on that topic, obviously October is approaching us soon. So these films will be in high demand, like as in for us as a society, like I don't know, we're gonna be watching those. But the thing is, actually, what I always try to do when it approaches Halloweeny time is I don't always try to watch Halloween films that I've watched already, because I mean, of course, the thing is, even with Corpse Bride, I rewatched it a million times, like a million times, and it's like I don't think I would obviously rewatch it again this Halloween. And I think also another one that I've rewatched a few times. There's Nightmare Before Christmas as well. But the thing that, like, obviously supposed to be about Nightmare Before Christmas is that obviously you also feel like, because it's obviously, like, its theme is Halloween, but because it's Nightmare Before Christmas, you have both events mixed together, and that's why sometimes it's hard for me. I think to myself, it's Nightmare Before Christmas, like, is it both? It's a Halloween film, and it's also a Christmas film, and I'm like, that doesn't really make sense. They can't be both. They're one or the other. But I do think that, yeah, The Nightmare Before Christmas is a film that falls into both festivities, which is hard. Of course, Corpse Bride doesn't. Like, Corpse Bride does not fit into both festivities. It's literally just a Halloween film, and you watch it at Halloween. I mean, how horrific is it to be engaged to a corpse, I suppose. But Victor was just too... He was too... Oh man, he seemed like somebody who was very awkward anyway, and it's like that's what I was thinking about when Johnny Depp being casted as Victor. It's like he obviously plays Victor in such a good way. I think, oh my gosh, I was also going to mention the fact that people want there to be a Corpse Bride live action, which I think is fine. I mean, I'm not all that crazy about live actions. That's the thing. Like, I don't know. I think it's hard. Like, when a film is animated, it's like, do you really want it to be live? I know loads of people, yeah, if we're talking about live actions for a minute. Like, I know lots of people, I think when Beauty and the Beast live action came out, people didn't like it. Personally, I did, but that's just me though. Like, I think to myself, that's actually just me. And I want to think to myself, yeah, with how much I love movies, it's like, am I easily impressed? Because it's just as to say, like, other people will bash films, yeah, that I like. And I'm like, does that mean, I'm just easily impressed? Or is the film generally bad? Like, it's even another thing with how, like, just a tidbit, like, just, I've been seeing reviews on Katy Perry's album, and I'm like, oh, like, is Katy Perry's album actually bad? Or people just saying that it's bad? So I was like to myself, now I have to decide for myself, and I have to go out and listen to the Katy Perry album. And I will say this, actually. I will say this on the record in the episode, yeah? Already I don't think Katy Perry's album is good. Like, I'm not even finished. I'm halfway through the episode, and already... halfway through the album, and already I don't think it's that good. Like, I think I'm at, like, track 3, or... No, yeah, I'm probably at track 3, because I listened to Gimme Gimme One with 21 Savage, and so I think I'm on the next track. And then I think to myself, oh, maybe Katy Perry's feature with Doechii, maybe that will somehow salvage the album, but I don't know. I don't think so, because then obviously when I'm just like reading people's reviews, and I saw a YouTube video, so, and obviously I also saw, because when I was making that article, so obviously that article's also going to be on its way too, but when I was looking at that, I saw there was an article from Rolling Stone, and I was like, oh, like, obviously the critiques that Katy Perry's been getting, they're not small fry, like, they're literally big people, like, and I was like to myself, well, that means Katy Perry's album is poo. Like, we're not gonna say the S word on here, but yeah, like, it obviously is bad. Like, that's what I mean. I was like to myself, if you hear a few reviews here and there, but if the only thing you're seeing when you look into a topic is bad, that means it's bad. I thought to myself I was going to see, yeah, a sliver of hope where somebody would have said, oh, actually, I quite like Katy Perry's album. But I haven't seen that anywhere. As of yet, I've not seen that anywhere. And it surprised me, because I know that people are always quick, with articles, and that's the thing that's like really hard for me, even as a writer myself. It's like people want you to have maybe pitched an idea from like, I don't know, a month ago, and it's like, hold on, like, how can we pitch an article for you a month ago when we haven't even seen said film? And also what's it called? We haven't seen St. Phil, but we haven't listened to the album. They don't make any sense. But it's just crazy that, like, obviously when I was researching, it's like, obviously I was like to myself, oh, Katy Perry's album's only been out for like 2 days. And in 2 days, all the negative, all the thing surrounding it is bad. I was like, definitely, if it's only been 2 days, fresh off the press, fresh off the out, then that means it's obviously bad. And it's a shame. Like, that's the thing. When I'm listening to her album, yeah, it's killing me. I was listening to her album and I was thinking of other Katy Perry songs. Like, when I was listening to her album, I was thinking of Wide Awake. And I was like, wait, this doesn't sound like Katy Perry at all. Like, the Katy Perry that we all know and love. Like, do you know what I mean? The Katy Perry who, I think I say in my article, like, she used to be considered a pop queen. Like, she was the bar. Like, who could touch Katy Perry? Who could touch her? Actually, nobody. Like, she was actually just the top. And obviously she had songs like flipping... She had songs like, Last Friday Night, California Girls, and even the one that I really like was the one that got away. And also, what's the one I also like again? Is it Dark Horse? I feel like it's Dark Horse, but I can't remember. I don't know if that's the right title. But, okay, we went on a tangent. But aside from, let's come off that. So, with Court's Bride, yeah, like, I was saying how, also with Tim's films, yeah, I was saying, like, I think his niche is horror films. Yeah, his niche is horror films, because obviously, as of recent, he's obviously working on the newest Beetlejuice, right? And then I think he's also going to be working on season 2 of Wednesday as well. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, his niche is obviously just horror, right? And it's like, and then I was even saying the fact that though, like, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Alice in Wonderland, they're not like obviously big horrors, but you can just still tell that they have Tim's hands on them. You can just tell that they have elements where it's like, oh yeah, Tim would have added this in. As a director, you're like, yeah, Tim would have put this in here for dramatic effect and for that horrific element that he likes for his movies to have. Do you know what I mean? Same way, because I think I was saying about how when Alice goes down the hole, that's probably, for me, I'm back to myself, that's an idea that Tim would probably added in there. It's like, in a way, we all know Alice could have gone down that place way different than she did. She didn't necessarily have to go down a hole. Not really. Like, her going down a hole was more scary, more dangerous. But, like, you guys literally could have made her go down there, like, by a ladder or something safe. But then, of course, if they did that, it wouldn't have been as dramatic as it was. And it also wouldn't feel like, a Tim add-on. Do you know what I mean? And I also thought that about Charlotte and the Chocolate Factory as well. Because, what's it called? Yeah, I thought it was about Charlotte and the Chocolate Factory. Because obviously, Charlotte and the Chocolate Factory doesn't just zoom in on Charlie. It also talks about Wonka. And I think Charlotte and the Chocolate Factory's main theme is obviously greed and overindulgence. Whereas obviously how I said Corpse Bride's theme is death. But like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory's theme is more overindulgent and stuff like that, because obviously everyone was greedy. Like, you know, there's so many different ways in that film greed is shown to us. Everyone was greedy to get a golden ticket. Everyone was greedy to eat chip chocolate. Everyone was greedy to even meet Wonka. You know, like, it was all greed in the most subtle ways. Do you know what I mean? And then if then the most character who had the biggest greed was obviously the guy who, one of the kids who gets stuck in the tube, right? Because obviously he goes out of his way to start, like, obviously eating the forest, and then obviously, yeah, that's overindulgence. Obviously, that's just what the theme is. Like, it's just overindulgence and just yeah, going out of your way, because obviously chocolates and that will do that. It's funny because I was thinking to myself, the Charlotte Chocolate Factory is supposed to be a film that like reminds us that we shouldn't have as much chocolate, because I think to myself, no, we don't want to take this too real. But I'm like to myself, is that the subtle message? Because it's just as to say, like, all films have a subtle message all the time. All the time they have a subtle message. Like, obviously, Corpse's Bride, we know, as I said, it's the theme is death, and their subtle message is we're all going to die. And that's okay, you know what I mean? But that's the subtle message. The subtle message, we're all gonna die, and that's fine. And then obviously you could say that, yeah, Charlotte Chotry's subtle message is don't eat a lot of chocolate. For one, it will rot in your teeth, like it did for Wonka, and he was out here walking around. He had a thingy. He had like a proper like braces like equipment. Like, not even, that's the thing with Wonka actually. He ate so much chocolate. He didn't even just have braces, like the basics. He literally had like the trap, almost, as in, like, it was, as to say, his dad, because his dad was a dentist. And that's actually Wonka's own. Like, your dad was actually a dentist. You obviously shouldn't eat any chocolate. And then, like, obviously his dad would just have to give him the thing, because obviously he would just, it was probably a way as to try to get Wonka to stop eating it, but he would still eat it either way. And he was obviously just being indulgent in like a sweet treats, even though he knew that he couldn't have it. And even that probably is another subtle message, that's to say that, what's it called, consequences of your actions, you know what I mean? Like, if you indulge in things, you're gonna mess up your teeth, and you're gonna mess up your life. Number one, that's what I mean. You're gonna mess up your life. Okay, and note, what I will say is, yeah, like, you'll probably end up watching Corpse Bride this month anyways, even after I've spoke about this, because as I said, October is on the rise. And if you're not watching Corpse Bride, what are you doing? What are you doing? I know you're going to watch other Halloween films, because obviously, yeah, you probably will also watch Paranorman or any of those other great ones. But like, yeah, let's not forget about Corpse Bride. And obviously, no, I also want to say, you don't want to forget about the fact that the characters that play Victor and Emily is Johnny Depp and Helen Bonham Carter, and that's a huge deal. We all love Helen Bonham Carter. I'll say we, because I mean that. I didn't make it up. Like, everybody knows they love Helen Bonham Carter. She's just amazing. And it's like, it's funny because every time you hear her laugh, it's like we all recognize Helena's laugh, because every time she's in a film, when you hear her laugh, it's like, wow. It's almost like when you say bingo in a game. They're like, bingo, because that's what Helena's laugh is like. It's super it's like a gold mine for some reason. But yeah, watch Corpse Bride. And also note to end off, this is gonna be my last podcast for a while, but like not forever, but just like for a while. I mean, obviously this is our fifth episode, and obviously I just want to just give the podcast like a break. Do you know what I mean? Not like a break, but like, obviously 5 is a lot, and it's like, of course we'll pick it back up again, but we're just gonna give it this time to just be out there, sit with people. Do you know what I mean? And then we'll come back and we'll do another one, either a movie or a show, because obviously, yeah, that's obviously what we talk about here. But I meant, it probably most likely actually will be a show, because obviously I just feel like I've been talking about movies so much, and I kind of want to also give shows some limelight. Like, it's not to say, because I've always thought, like, when I did the series, yeah, I'm like, it's talk about shows and movies with me. We're not just talking about movies, even though I would love to. Like, and I always take to myself, when I chose to talk about this topic in particular, or both of those topics, I just thought to myself, like, which one do I even like watching the most? And I feel like it's like, it also depends, because obviously with a show, you can binge watch it, like fast in one sitting. And a movie, sometimes with movies, depending on how long they are, you can't always watch them in one sitting. Sometimes you have to split it across the day. Like, I think, for example, what's it called? Yeah, for example, there's that film, The Irishman. The Irishman is 3 hours long. And I always say to myself, I've gone to the cinema to watch films that are 3 hours before, but I just don't know if I could ever do a 3 hour film at home. Like, not really. Because it's like, of course, when you're in the cinema, yeah, you've paid to be there. You've actually paid to be there. You've paid for your seat. You've paid for the snacks that you've brought into the cinema. So it's like you're going to stay in that seat. And it also, because it's 3 hours, like you're not going to go to the loo either. But it's just to say that because it's 3 hours long and you're in the cinema, you're going to sit through it. But if you're at home, you probably won't. You lose concentration. Like, that's the thing. Whenever I'm at home and I'm watching stuff, I lose concentration. I guess cinema that's the thing that when they have that rule and they say, turn off your phones and stop having conversations. That's how they do that, and they make it just a no distraction zone, which you obviously can't always do at home. When at home you're relaxed, it's just harder to have no distractions. But thank you for listening to episode 5, and I hope to see you again in the next episode.